Now, this channel told you that this was going to happen. Let's keep this one quick because, for fuck's sake, I think I'm going to have to get another camera. Um, Theresa May. Theresa May. So this happened earlier today. Take a look at this.
Of March, so one of their first acts would have to be extending so Graham Brady has confirmed that he has received 48 letters from Conservative MPs, so there will now be a vote of confidence in my leadership of the Conservative Party. I will contest that vote with everything I've got. I have been a member of the Conservative Party for over 40 years. I've served it as an activist, councillor, MP, Shadow Minister, Home Secretary, and now as Prime Minister. I stood to be leader because I believe in the Conservative vision for a better future, a thriving economy with nowhere and nobody left behind, a strong society.
I can tell now that speech is going to be empty, so there's no point in watching the whole thing. Needless to say, Theresa May has been put under a leadership challenge, in which case she was fighting for her life in order to retain her prime ministership. Apparently, while she was in this kind of leadership challenge tonight, she promised that she wouldn't run in 2022. And despite promising that she would not run again in 2022, she still barely survived. Look at this. So the vote ended up being 200 to 117. Is it 117? Yeah, 200 to 117. 117 of her people voted against her. That is amazing. Now, and to put that in perspective, these weren't all Brexiteers. A big slice of these were independents that didn't believe she was up to the task. Let's see. Right here. A split now emerged between Tory Brexit rebels on how to handle the result. Compare Crispin Blunt's concession below the Jason Rees-Mogg. Under all constitutional norms, she ought to go and see the Queen urgently and resign. I mean, after all, she's had all sorts of people resign from her campaign. The bill that she's going to push through is going to be voted down, even though she eked by in a leadership challenge. Her bill is still going to be voted down. Brussels has already said, no, this is the best that you're going to get. And when she brings this back, if she ever brings it up for a vote, they're going to vote this down. And then what? Are they going to have another leadership challenge? And keep in mind, this result is also after she promised to not run again in 2022. She wants to see Brexit through. But her party and Labour don't want her to see that through, even though they were iffy with taking her out on the rail. Let's see. Let's look at some of the results. Jason Rees-Mogg is an ideologue, so I don't care about him. The Home Secretary, the latest cabinet member to support, right? So right here, this is her response after this challenge. This has been a long and challenging day, but at the end of it, I'm pleased to have received the backing of my colleagues in tonight's ballot. Whilst I'm grateful, I love that, I love Brits. Whilst I'm grateful for that support, a significant number of my colleagues did cast a vote against me, and I have listened to what they had to say. Following this ballot, we need to get on with the job of delivering Brexit for the British people and building a better future for this country. I have no idea what that means. A Brexit that delivers on the vote that people gave, that brings back control of our money, our borders, and our laws, and protects our jobs, security, and the union, that brings the country back together rather than entrenching divisions. According to you, your Brexit bill was exactly that. And you haven't even been able to bring that bill up because that bill would be voted down. So what are you saying now? What's different? Why are you telling us now that this is what you want to do? You want to do all those things. You told us you wanted to do all those things before with the last Brexit bill, and that Brexit bill was going to get trashed. I mean, let's be honest. I hate this false, nothing language. It's 10 pages, and you have no idea what the person said at the end of the 10 pages. That must start here in Westminster, and politicians on all sides coming together and acting with the national interests. Well, national interest is voting your bill down. For my part, I have heard what House of Commons said about the Northern Ireland backstop. And when I go to the European Council tomorrow, I will be seeking legal and political assurances that they can assuage the concerns that the members of Parliament may have on that issue. Good luck with that. But there's a caveat that I need to add to that. For my part, I've heard that the House of Commons said about the Northern Ireland backstop and whatever, right? But while delivering Brexit is important, we also need to focus on the other concerns that people feel are vital to them, that matters to them in their day-to-day, the issues we came to politics to deal with. Well, you came to politics to serve your 1%, you're conservative, let's be honest. Building a stronger economy, delivering first-class public services, that is not what you're doing. You're destroying the NHS, you're destroying the police department. Yeah, let's be honest. I mean, you have ambulances that are outside waiting with people dying in the ambulances because they can't get in to the hospitals because you've cut services to the NHS. That is not the same thing as securing the public services. This is why I don't like this language. This is full of nonsense. We owe it to people who put us here to take their priorities first. Well, if that's true, you should resign. So here's the renewed mission: deliver Brexit that the people voted for. Was that not what you were doing before? What were you doing before? Were you not delivering the Brexit that people voted on before? That's what you told me you were doing. You looked into the camera every other day saying, I'm delivering Brexit that the people voted for. Was that a lie? Was that a lie? Bringing the country back together and building the country that works for everyone. Well, you're attacking the poor, attacking public services. I don't see how that's happening. She ignored a shouted question about whether or not she would actually be able to get her Brexit through Parliament, something her own hard Brexit-supporting MPs are openly predicting she will fail to do. I don't know why this would be different. If she brings up the same bill, yeah, they're going to kill it. What would be different? The Prime Minister is safe for tonight. I like that they put that in, for tonight. Percentage support higher than in 2016, but concerns are far wider than the organized ERG Brexiteer group. Leadership can't pretend it's only headbangers, to use MP's words, who want her out. Bigger loss than supporters expected. Tory party stuck in Brexit gridlock. I think 117 against has to be considered a disappointing result for her. It's a win, but it weakens her authority still further, especially given that this came after a pledge not to fight for the next election. I promise, if you let me live now, I won't run again in 2022. And you still had 117, so we want her out. Well, over half of the independent, right here, over half of independent Tory MPs voted against her. And even then, she had to concede she wouldn't lead her party into the next election. That's amazing. That's amazing. But needless to say, Theresa May survived. Now, here's the caveat. Juncker made the point that we can clarify some of the agreements. Meaning, even though they're not going to change what they've agreed upon, he did make the point that we can clarify. Now, I would make the point that this argument of saying clarify is a political speak. It's a fudge. We can give a perspective of this. Okay, what's the perspective of this? Is this perspective going to help us or help me get this bill over the finish line? We don't know. They're not necessarily going to redo. They're not going to countermand. And whatever they give a perspective of, it is not necessarily going to completely annihilate what they've already agreed upon or the spirit of what they've agreed upon. But nevertheless, she's going back and beg the various members of the European Union, please, dog. They're going to take my head if you don't do this. They're going to call it another challenge. Theresa May survives. And keep in mind, this is 117 voted against her, but it's not just 117. The rest of the House would have voted against her too. This is just the members of her own specific party. You have, like Jeremy Corbyn puts out a tweet saying she's lost her governing majority. And his point is, if she brings this bill up, that bill is going to be voted down, which means that she's lost her ability to some degree, govern. As where is it? I thought I had it up. Maybe not. Nevertheless, Theresa May survives. Theresa May survives.